So you guys got 2-seat and 4 seats, and you've done a lot of work to them. What's the differences between the two? What do you like, and what do you dislike about each one, a 2-seat or 4-seat?
You can go first with
the 2-seat.
Yeah.
Well, the 2-seat is just a rowdy little monster with this kind of power. It's really playful. Wheelies. I mean, one of the things that's hard to do is like, where are you going to set the front end down? You know, is it going to be in a hole, or are you going to land it smooth? You know, because it comes up pretty rowdy. But that's one thing I do like about it. So.
I thought we got a long ways away.
Yeah.
Anyways, so one thing I really like about it, like Jared said, kind of on the same point, is it's a little bit more rowdy, but like when you're going into the bowls, I like how in the 2-seat you kind of feel like you're just jumping into them.
Yeah.
Versus with the 4-seat, you're kind of just sliding into them.
Yeah, like a smooth transition, where this one here is, I wouldn't really call it violent, but it's more playful. You can kind of jump in and bank, you know, rather than transition and bank, you know.
And then you're obviously a little bit lighter too, and so you can do the wheelies like you talked about. That's,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, 2-seat's just a rowdy, fun car.
Yes.
But the 4-seat, it just handles everything better, transitions everything better, I would say, in general.
Yeah.
So it's, do you want a smoother ride, or do you want more of a playful car, is really how I look at it.
Yeah, and like as far as a ride goes, you can't beat the 4-seater. Like spanning the whoops, they go through the whoops 10 times better than this. They don't buck, you know, they're pretty good. I mean, once you get a bunch of power and you start wheeling a 4-seater.
Let's get it! Yeah!
I mean, if you want to be able to wheel your car well, like a true 12 pounds to get a 2-seater up, I'd say probably more of like 16 to 17 pounds to get a 4-seat to stand up good. Not just a speed bump and get a little bit of a wheelie.
You have a lot more confidence to stay in it longer because it's not going to loop out, right? You have a lot more room to play with. Where the 2-seater, when it starts to come with a bunch of power, it comes pretty quick, and you better be ready to react, for
and
sure.
I kind of think that's kind of what got me the win at UTV Takeover. It's just because I was able to stay in it, and a lot of those guys, they were either going too much or not enough, right?
Yeah, the balance point is a lot finer. Yeah, it's a way shorter sweet spot in the 2-seater. The 4-seat, you got forever, you can carry it, but you know, now you're up there 20 feet, so you better put her down nice, because it's a long way down.
It does come down kind of hard.
Yeah.
But I would say what I thought was funny, and I really wanted to do the 4-seat just to kind of see 4-seat to 2-seat, and I had a theory that it would do some stuff better than people thought.
Yeah.
And one of those things is drag racing. So one thing I was kind of thinking myself when we did the whole 4-seat versus 2-seat, I've raced a lot of stocks or had a lot of stock cars get together, and everybody says the 4-seat will always lose. And I haven't really seen that be true, even in stock form.
No,
right?
Polaris did a really good job. It has a 12% lower gearing, and so it keeps the throttle response. You know, as long as you have a good tire with a lot of traction, it will move the big car, right?
Yeah.
And so they did a good job making them really comparable as far as performance goes. I mean, they might not run out on the big end because they're geared lower, but as far as what you would use a 4-seat for, especially tuning, they nailed it for sure.
Well, and I think one thing to kind of think about is traction, right? I'm a big fan of front traction. The 2-seat, it's gonna want to bring those wheels up, but no longer do you have front traction giving you dig, right?
Right.
But with the 4-seat, it's really hard out of just a launch to get a 4-seat and really want to pick those wheels up.
Yeah.
And so you kind of get that front traction going the whole stretch, you know, kind of a thing. So I don't know, I've been surprised how well the 4-seats run. One negative though is the fuel tank. Biggest negative ever with a 4-seat.
Oh yeah, the fuel pickup is not very well located. When you're demanding a lot of fuel, you can get air here and there and get fuel cuts.
Just the way the tank is designed, we have to, I mean, we just did it, right? I lost against you and I was cutting, and we're like, why am I cutting? So we're thinking about it. I filled her to the top, ran it, and I was able to run the car down. It was all because of fuel is why I was cutting. You have to have the 4 seats if you want to run them. You got to have them, I'd say, what, 3/4 and above. If you want to do a big steep hill,
at least half, right?
Or at least over half.
Or you need to do some sort of like surge tank that always stays full, but then it's just kind of a pain in the butt. So.
Yeah. But you know, it's been fun doing the both and trying them both. It's just, you want more of a playful car, or do you want more of a smooth car, I'd kind of say.
And just because you have a 4-seater doesn't mean you have to fill it. They are so fun to drive, even by yourself, but way more fun to scare out of somebody else and just yourself all the time. So the 4-seater and the passenger game is pretty fun. The 2-seater as well, but passengers, yeah, I like
Or the
passengers.
guy in the back?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, Jared today, he's been like, man, because he just smoked his transmission on his 4-seat car, and he's just like, dang it. Today he's been crying about, I want my 4-seat. He likes his 4-seat. So kind of something to think about. You know, Jared's an aggressive driver, and he still loves that 4-seat. I actually wouldn't mind going back to the 2-seat. Just I like the rowdiness of it.
I'm not hating the rowdiness, but I've driven my
nice
4-seat a lot, and I've the confidence in my 4-seat.
Yeah.
You know, these dunes here are a little different. They're really tight and sharp turns. So the 2-seater with some good drive tires make a pretty good difference there.
It does.
Too.
It helps.
Like some of these drops out here, there's little 5 or 10 foot drops, and they're just wicked, and you really don't want to just jump off of them because you don't know if there's going to be a hole afterwards until you get to it. But some of these, it's really nice with that 4-seat. When you lock it up, that back wheel just kind of locks up and it kind of digs you in and you slide down, versus the 2-seat, you're going to kind of pop off and jump off and endo a little bit worse. So I would say that's one of the benefits of that 4-seat versus the 2-seat. One thing I noticed when I drove Sean's 2-seat Pro EFI turbo kit is through the whoops, you could kind of just double through the whoops, which was really cool and fun, versus the 4-seat, you're just trying to skim across. But the 2-seat, you kind of like give it a little bit of like a motocross feel, where you're kind of jumping around, popping around, and trying to double through the whoops, versus unless you just wanted to blitz through the whoops. But the biggest drawback to these souped up cars is none of us really want to just blitz the whoops because we don't want to break axles. It's throwing so much power. It's just so easy to smoke an axle. I'm honestly shocked. I've watched Sean just blitz whoops a ton. I guess I just don't feel like I want to break an axle, but I actually have only seen him break an axle one time. I'm kind of surprised.
That's what our thoughts are on a 2-seat versus a 4-seat. There's some goods and bads of both, but really,
you won't be disappointed with either one.
You aren't going to be disappointed as long as you have a turbo on them.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey everybody, it is track season. Our sponsors are hooking you guys up. It's our 4-mile track, 0 entry fee to you guys. Come on out. Pro EFI is hooking you guys up with an ECU. Yeah, a $3,500 ECU from Pro EFI if you get first place. And Metalcraft Products is hooking you guys up with $500 cash. And on top of that, they're gonna make our sweet trophies. And then big shout out to Hostile Wheels. Those guys are hooking you guys up. For second place, if you get second, you get whatever UTV wheels on their website from them for free. American Electric gives you guys $500 cash if you get third place. So if you need any electric work done, commercial or residential in Lake Havasu, hit them up. And MTS is hooking you guys up. Whoever has the fastest time, whether you're first or 5th or 10th, whoever has the fastest time in a stock suspension car, they're gonna give you $600 off in tuning. So come hang out with the Desert Side-by-Side Club. So email us at desertsxx@gmail if you wanna come out, run what you brung. A little heads up, the guy that won it last time had a stock Turbo S 4-seat.
When you're not first, you're last.
It's all about driving. You don't have to have the fastest car. You don't have to have the best suspension car. It is gonna be rough and it is tight. I purposely leave it that way. Come on out, have a good time, ride with us.